here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop my cherry.
What up, y'all? It's K&B the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the Sexy Ninjacast podcast for that ass. We're going to talk about some Juggalo-ish. Yeah, I haven't talked Juggalo's music or anything in a while. I've just been so consumed by these Dungeon Crawler Carl books that's just been my main focus. I'm on book 7, almost to book 8, and the homie Colin sends stuff over all the time, and I'm like, oh, snap, I haven't checked out that track yet, or this and that, and I'm coming to the end. I have one more book left in Dungeon Crawler Carl, but this news is not new, so, you know, and I had to, think about it, and just marinate in the idea of this tour coming up, the return of the Lotus. Then a video from JCW where Violent J was like, we're getting the band back together, and someone's like, Lotus! And it's like, no, that band's dead forever. And it's like, wow. You know, and this is more than just Juggalo shit. Like, it's a matter of a time and period of family and just the idea of, you know, all of us coming together. And I have the Lotus Cross tattooed on my right arm. You know, that Tales from the Lotus Pod, the Red Cross is by far the most important album in my discography of my life. You know, that album, it really helped me through some dark times, and there's a lot in that discography. And I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, hey, what's your favorite album? You know, someone who's younger than me, and they're like, album? Well, I got a favorite song. I'm like, no, do you have an album that you go to? Like go-to album? They're like, no. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. These like, you? I was like, oh, I have several. You know, when I'm really, really sad, I listen to Insane Clown Posse's Hell's Pit, and I feel better after. I don't know why, but that just makes me happy. And, you know, and then if I just want to just feel pure joy, I pick this. They're like, oh, wow. I was like, yeah, it's like this song. And music, the way it's distributed nowadays is a lot different than back in the day. You know, now I sound like an old man. You know, albums meant something, and when you went to the store and the release, I remember ditching school. I believe it was for the OPEC Brotherhood, and we had this store here called Hastings, and you know, they always got the new CDs on time, and they were at a great price for like $8.99. I remember when me and my brother went and picked up the Mighty Death Pop, all 3 versions, you know, they were like $8.99 a piece, and that's 2 albums for one, man. Hastings was awesome. And now they're gone. Physical media is just becoming, you know, obsolete. You know, I gladly hold on to CDs I've had, and there was a time where I did sell a majority of my collection because I was in debt and had to pull myself out of the hole. But you know, now I'm in this area where I'm okay. You know, I'm good. You know, I'm strolling through life, and I'm loving life, and I'm living life. I'm working out every day. I'm just trying to keep a positive mindset, you know, and with everything this came up about, this reason this topic came about is because Twiztid, ABK, and Blaze Ya Dead Homie are bringing back Lotus. Not Dark Lotus, the Lotus is what I'm gathering from this. Going on tour, I believe there's 4 or 5 dates. One's here in Arizona in October. I actually want to go to the show. But I saw a lot of feedback, and this isn't new. They've done this before. They've performed Lotus songs without Shaggy and Jay, and it's like they're trying to keep the nostalgia alive. And of course, they did that Ryda's album, which I enjoyed. My brother gave me back my Ryda shirt, and I was like, you know, I'm kind of glad I have this again, you know. And they're trying to keep that nostalgia alive, especially for the juggalos who are getting older, who has kids, and we're showing them all these awesome albums and showing why dad's got like Hatchet Man tattoo and Juggalo written on his arm, and 95% of my tattoos are Juggalo tattoos, and I proudly wear them, because I each one has a story, each one has a meaning. And in the Juggalo community, it's so crazy now as we get older, seeing it kind of filter into pop culture, and in Dungeon Crawler Carl, there's sluggalos, Oh my gosh, man, and it's just crazy. And with this tour announced and just people being, oh, this is Diet Lotus, it's just like, I just want some good music. I just want some music that will make me just feel. And there's that song, I believe it's titled D4L, that they released on, I forgot what project it was. And that song, like, it touched me. I think that song would have touched me even more if Shaggy and Jay was on it, but that ain't happening anytime soon. And just hearing Jay say it too. What? That man is dead. And that's the tail end of this clip here of this show. And it just hurts. It's just like, damn, dog. And all through, like, because, like, my daughter asked me, like, what happened to Twiztid and ICP? And I was like, all right, look here, kid, I'll tell you. And I even showed her the FagoLovers.net interview with ICP, and I told her about Young Wicked and this and that and all this craziness and the betrayal and how it just all fell apart. And now Twiztid is trying to be like, hey, what's up? But there's problems on Twiztid's side too, like losing of Alazuilu. And Alazuilu is going to be at the Gathering this year, I was like, holy snap, and holy crap, holy snap, what? But it's just all these things and combinations. It's just like, let's just bring the love back. Let's just bring the family back. But, I don't know anything behind closed doors. Like, and I know there's rumors and here and there. And Colin's usually the best person that fills me in. He usually shows me something. I was like, oh, I didn't know they were beefing. He goes, oh, yeah, because of this. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, this is an underground PI right here, man. He keeps me updated. And I just miss having music come and just us coming together, especially for albums. And the way albums come out today is insane. Song lengths are not what they used to be. Now they're like 3 minutes or less, sometimes 2 minutes, and no one really promotes an album anymore. They promote the single, and you get all the singles before you even get the album. That's just been kind of annoying, because that's why when the Knot drops, it was like, here's the Knot. No one's going to hear it. We're not going to release anything. Here it is. And it was just like, okay, I get to experience this. I think that's the last album I really got to be like, oh my gosh, from top to bottom. I was going to bootleg websites because it leaked online, and I'm like, I need this album. And I haven't felt that in a long time. And with this new tour coming up, there's going to be a new Lotus project that you can pick up on the tour, which I'm very interested and excited about. And I know the community is torn, It's either fuck ICP or fuck Twiztid, And there's those people in the middle is like, I'm down with the clown and I'm down with Twiztid, I'm just living my best life here. But, and there's always going to be trolls, no matter what. In any fandom, in any community, anything that you like, there's always going to be these things. And with the separation of Twiztid and ICP, it's just, there was a really, really bad time. Then now it's just kind of like, yeah, they hate each other. They're never going to get back together. And me and Colin, like, anytime we get to talk, we talk about how, like, man, it'd be awesome. You imagine the money they would make if they are like, you know what? For business purposes, let's do it. But at the same time, if it's just a business purpose, it doesn't mean anything. Even though if the song is dope as hell, and I just miss that era of that, when albums dropped, it was a big deal. It meant something. And don't get me wrong, like, people are dropping albums now, and no one, like, what I miss is when people talk about their albums, like, oh yeah, the reason this album is this way is because we went in this direction or this and that. Like, no, here's this really cool single that we're going to drop, but the music industry is so different today. And like with artists, like, yeah, they can post their stuff now. It's so much easier. They can record. You can record on your phone. You can record in your butt. You have all these new options now to where you can just start making music and putting it out there. But it's just a matter of who's going to listen and whatnot, because there's so much out there in the internet. And it's a hustle, and I give it up to the OGs still rocking, man. Like Buckshot. Like, Buckshot's out there dropping albums with merch and this and that, and all his merch is freaking dope as hell, You got Scum, LSP, they're rocking over here. Magic Ninjas, like, putting out all these crazy little things, and Alazuilu, like, they're hustling out there. Ouija Mac being one of the big hustlers, too, man. He has albums after albums after albums, and he's dropping merch after merch, and it's dope, solid stuff from across the board. Doc Gruesome, one of my favorites, man. When I met him, the dude is incredible. But it's, and that's why I want to go out to the show, the Return of the Lotus show, and just hear these songs again, being played. And I remember when I saw Dark Lotus, oh my gosh, at the Gathering of the Juggalos, they were all dressed like samurais. They had samurai swords, painted up and everything. And, then you just felt that magic when you heard Lotus, everyone just singing and chanting, and your DL up in the sky. Oh my gosh, man. And out of the discography, I'll say Black Rain and the Tales from the Lotus Pod, Red Cross, man, those were on constant. Those are still on constant repeat. I cannot listen to the Gold Cross album, though, because I know the Red Cross so well from top to bottom of the lyrics with Mars, that original lineup. And every time when you switch, and then ABK drops, and I'm like, oh, yeah, forgot. Okay, cool. And then the Red Cross is not even on Spotify, so this is why physical media is important. I got the album. I made a CDR of it because I didn't want to scratch up the main album too much. And, my car has a CD player, thankfully. So, like, one of those days, I'm like, man, you know what? I want to cheer myself up. Put on some Lotus. Woo! Put a little drizzle. Crack open a nice little Faygo, which is non-existent here in Arizona. Well, especially in Flagstaff. There was a place. Me and my daughter used to go there all the time to go get a Faygo. And they had cotton candy. They had peach, which is my favorite, and grape. And I told him, I was like, yo, can you get Diet Cola Faygo? That would be dope. And I'll come here a lot more. And the guy's like, yeah, sure. Never happened. And just last week, we were playing some ICP, and I was like, yo, kid, let's go get a Faygo. Let's go pop one off. She's like, hell yeah. I'm like, let's go. And then we walked inside, and we opened the door, and the cooler's like right there. And I opened the door. I'm like, oh, shit, bruh, where's the Faygo? And he's like, oh, we're not selling it no more. The guy, their distributor's not giving it to us. I was like, I was like, no, freaking Vader style, boy, no. And my kid was like, no. I was like, oh. And it was just that craving, nice, sweet, bubbly, sugary peach Faygo on my lips, drizzling like sweat off of the Magic Mike dancers. Yeah, I went there. Think about that. But I'm excited for this tour. I'm gonna try my hardest to get there, just because going to concerts is really not easy, especially with the day job. But it's in October. I think that's some time to get there, record some footage. The last concert I went to was the Three-Headed Monster tour, with Jay, Isham, Ouija, and that feeling of like, oh man, being at a concert just feels good. Being with people who are there just to listen to the music and have love, checking out the merch booth and getting a t-shirt, and all this and that. Like, it just brings back a lot of nostalgia, and listening to these albums. And I'm gonna do more podcasts like this. I originally had a show that I wanted to do called Get Clowned, talking about the world of the Juggalo verse, the mythological, stuff of albums and like, remember this and this and this. I have the idea. I just need to execute it, and I would want to execute it in a really great way. I have a logo and everything for it too. So we shall see wherever that project happens. But we got the Sexy Ninjacast. I hope you're enjoying those movie reviews. I really love doing the movie reviews, so I'm gonna try to get more podcasts like this and talking about other things, comic books, Juggalo stuff, music, and songs that come out. Like, I really want to get back onto it and just have this plethora of entertainment, that I want to talk about. And movies, of course, I'm going to keep dropping them as much as I can. And I'm also going to drop movies that I've never seen before, even movies that are older. I was thinking about that. I thought that'd be cool to go jump in these movies and kind of just dissect them, especially movies from like the 70s and whatnot, like Apocalypse Now, stuff that I've seen that, but have I seen it? Because we're all those, I'm that movie guy where I'm talking like, oh, I've seen it, but have I though? Is my brain that mushy? Like, I'm just like, what? But like it or not, this tour is going to happen. This music's going to drop, and I know, knowing Twiztid, ABK, Blaze, that it's going to be dope. I have no doubt that it's going to be dope. I hope it has that level of that D4L song, because that song was awesome. And the curse, what's funny is so it's just 4 members now of this new interpretation of the Lotus. And when Jay and Shaggy were there, I remember them talking about, that 6th member was always a bitch to fill, like that spot. So no, we're going back to the basics. I love the Opaque Brotherhood. That's such a good. The last album they dropped too, The Mud. That album's great too, and I don't own those. No, I have the Opaque Brotherhood. I just remember when I sold some of my collection, they only were like, this will sell. And slowly I'm getting them back. I rebuilt my original 6 Joker's cards. I'm very, that made me happy. I was missing just a couple CDs, but I got every single version of the Wraith Shangri-La. Well, not every version. I'm still after the vinyl and a couple other things, but I got the sampler. I got, the foil covers and whatnot. I was very excited because that album is what changed my perspective on life and changed my perspective on just being a good person and going through life and just loving one another. Strange or not, we're all here on this dirt ball for a reason, and we're going to keep rocking. And we got the tunes the clowns give us, the Twiztid give us. And I think that's where I miss the family aspect of it, because man, everyone's rocking chains and stuff like that. Like, I hear Homies. I love Homies, and I love that song, but it's like at the end of it, I'm like, Homies, talk about road dogs, oh my, I'm like, then at the end of the song, I'm like, lies. Yes. Oh my gosh, but man, just keep rocking, keep popping, keep locking. I'm going to keep holding it down right here in the Paper Saber universe. More stuff and flavor to come. Working on some shorts and whatnot just to make you laugh, because sometimes we just got to laugh. We just got to have a little chuckle. Just enjoy life and be you, because you're awesome, man. Just, or woman, or they, whatever. Whoever you are awesome. Remember that. Okay? All right, y'all. I'm in this booth sweating. I wish I looked like a Magic Mike dancer, but I do not yet. I told my wife, I go, as soon as I lose this belly and I get some guns and stuff like that, I'm going to run around in Flagstaff like these guys that have no shirts on. Yeah, that's going to be me. I'm going to run around, look at me, and my extra skin fat's going to be flopping all over the place. I'm like, yeah, you like that? Huh, runner? This is why we get to look at you? Without your shirt? Rant. Oh, man. So, all right, y'all. Drop those comments below. Hit that like. Hit the subscribe. Tell me what you think of this whole Lotus. And did Jay's words hurt you as much as it hurt me when he's like, the Lotus is dead. The band is dead. And I do admire the fact that they're not calling it Dark Lotus. So that's the one. Like, if they said we're Dark Lotus, I'm like, hold on. Everyone sit down. Everyone sit down. No. But if it's just the Lotus, okay, we'll do that like the Rydas, they did. So we shall see. Tell me what you think, man. Drop those comments below. Let's just have nothing but love and respect, and let's just be cool. Aight? Or unless you want to be an asshole, you be like, fuck you, KMB. Go drink your Diet Lotus, you bitch face. You can do that too, I guess. If it makes you happy. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down that woman. I am KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember, almost like my brain was like, to stay sexy, ninjas. Woo, woo!
We're getting the band back together. Oh, shit. Lotus! Fuck that. No, not them. That band is dead forever.